Hey guys, so today we have another rare and limited edition video, this time looking at the Hellcat models. Now most of us know about the Hellcats with the 6.2 liter supercharged V8 engine with over 700 horsepower from the factory. While Dodge is putting these engines in almost all of their performance vehicles across the board, a Hellcat vehicle is still not entirely common, as there are thousands produced per year depending on the models, but of course it's not quite as mass produced as a lower end model vehicle would be. So apart from these normal Hellcats, there are some lesser known variants that are out there, some from the factory, and others overseas or one-offs. The caveat is that there aren't very many of those, and you need a lot more money to be in a position to purchase them. I'm also thinking of making this into a two-part series where we can look at some other Hellcats in the second video, including the most limited years as well as harder to find colors. But anyways, hopefully you enjoy this video, and let's get into this. So first off, just a quick overview of the Hellcat. In 2015, Chrysler unveiled their new high-performance Hemi engine, which of course they named the Hellcat, after the Grumman F6F Hellcat fighter aircraft from World War II. The engine has a displacement of 6.2 liters, with a 2.4 liter supercharger making 11.6 pounds of boost, and a compression ratio of 9.5 to 1. And that helps the Hemi to have an output of 707 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque when it came out. It was the most powerful production engine ever in a muscle car until Dodge beat their own record with the 2018 Demon. Dodge also improved the engine with the Red Eye, first the 2019 Challenger and then a 2021 Charger, with an improvement of 90 horsepower and 57 pound-feet of torque, up to 797 horsepower and 707 pound-feet of torque. Also in 2017, Mopar began selling it as a crate engine known as the Hellcrate. So onto the rare editions. We'll begin the list with the very first Hellcat ever produced, a 2015 Dodge Challenger with VIN 0001. Before being released to the public, this Hellcat was put up at the Barrett-Jackson auction in Las Vegas. The final bid reached $825,000, won by Rick Hendrick, who was a car collector and NASCAR team owner, and he also owned some Chevy dealerships. The Engelstad Family Foundation also matched the auction price, bringing the total up to $1.65 million US. The good news, all that money went to the Las Vegas Charity Opportunity Village, which is a not-for-profit helping people with intellectual disabilities. This total ended up breaking the record for the biggest charitable donation auction in Barrett-Jackson history. So what's so special about this first production Hellcat Challenger? Well, it's not a totally normal Hellcat, as Chrysler added some unique features. As far as I know, this is the only Challenger that has ever been made with striker red paint, which is otherwise only available on the Dodge Vipers. It's also got a Hemi orange painted engine cover, special Hellcat badging, specific VIN documentation, and a matching Hemi orange painted presentation box. Inside that box you get an iPad mini with an authentic Laguna leather special Hellcat case, and on the iPad there's video footage and photos of the Hellcat being built at the factory, which is something really cool that you can't get anywhere else. Other memorabilia pieces include a Hellcat lithograph, customized key fob holder, and a birth certificate for the VIN. Next up is one of the most interesting vehicles on the list, an absolutely stunning Hellcat that has gone through a carbon fiber 1969 Charger body conversion. Underneath that body lies a 2019 Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. The non-widebody Hellcat MSRP was around $67,000 at this time, but the conversion sold for a whopping $203,500 at a Mecum auction. The company only was slated to build 10 of these, so if you happen to have one, it's ultra rare. This particular one I'm showing is the second built, but I couldn't find much info on the other 8. Now the conversion details. What makes this car worth 3 times the price from the factory? Well, a company by the name of 612 Auto Works out of Nanuet, New York had the goal of building 10 of these conversion skins for the Challenger Hellcats, with full carbon fiber bodies inspired by the 1969 Dodge Charger. They partnered with Common Fibers, Speedcore, and MagnaFlow to deliver. The bodies have a 4-inch wider track and 2-inch lower roofline, and it looks totally fantastic. So the company stripped the original bodywork from a brand new Challenger SRT Hellcat, and they applied their own custom Charger skin, fusing that 50-year-old car look with the present-day technology. The new body was finished in plum candy purple glacier, exposing the carbon weave. Massive 21x12 forged line wheels were added to complement the bigger body. Everything else remains stock, including the 717 horsepower 6.2 liter supercharged Hemi V8, ZF 8-speed automatic, and the interior. Even the blind spot monitoring system is preserved thanks to the clever 3D printed retro door mirrors. However, there should be some slight performance gains, as the carbon body is around 300 pounds lighter than the stock Hellcat. Next on the list is a European version of the Hellcat. A Munich-based company called AEC is responsible for building these, and they are an authorized Dodge and Ram importer in Europe, so they're legitimate. FCA does not offer official imports to most of Europe, so there have to be these other authorized importers that customers turn to, and AEC is one of them. They decided to create the 2019 Hellcat XR, where there were just 80 copies released in 2019 for Europe only, with 50 of those just for Germany. The price was a whopping 179,000 euros, which is over $211,000 US if you look at today's exchange rates. Keep in mind that the Dodge and Chrysler vehicles normally do have very high prices overseas compared to what we're used to in North America. What AEC did was take a 2019 Dodge Challenger SRT widebody model and attempt to unlock its full potential by adding lots of features and upgrades. First, the engine was competition tuned, and it also got some other upgrades like an upgraded performance pulley, smaller drive ratio, and a reprogrammed ECU, along with a new valve-controlled AEC performance exhaust system. The car is fully road legal, and that exhaust system has been custom engineered to the engine, all staying within the standard European sound volume regulation and controlled with the touch of a button on the interior. It's also got the standard ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, which has been slightly modified to handle the extra power, although I'm not exactly sure what they did. Overall, this Hellcat XR is rated at 888 horsepower and 737 pound-feet of torque to the rear wheels, or 662 kilowatts and 999 newton meters of torque, as they would say in Europe. The top speed claimed is 320 kilometers per hour, which is roughly 199 miles per hour. So when compared to a normal Hellcat, that's a gain of 171 more horsepower and 81 more pound-feet of torque. It's even got more horsepower and torque than a stock Demon. On the exterior, as we mentioned, this car has the standard widebody package with 3.5-inch fender flares and the 20x11-inch Black Devil's rim wheels with 305/35/20 Pirelli P0 performance tires. They've also added a Hellcat XR carbon fiber package with a carbon fiber performance hood from the Dodge Demon with its huge air scoop to feed the engine, custom hood pins, carbon fiber performance front splitter, custom rear spoiler and diffuser, and a lightweight carbon fiber trunk lid and side rockers. The weight numbers weren't released, but all the carbon fiber surely helped that Hellcat XR to shed a few pounds. Up front there's an exclusive XR grille emblem, the air catcher headlights, and the standard Hellcat badges on the front fenders. As for the suspension, you can opt for the AEC Competition Suspension Kit, which replaces the standard Hellcat suspension with racing coilovers that will allow you to custom tune the XR's ride height, weight distribution, and the stiffness to your own preference. Beneath the wheels are the standard Brembo brakes and huge slotted and ventilated two-piece rotors, with 4-piston calipers in the rear and 6 pistons up front. Of course, many of the European reviews still didn't like the cornering or handling, saying, quote, "The Mastodon never feels like as sporty as a Porsche 911 that is capable of attacking corners with great confidence. It is simply too much heft to throw around in the corners and can be a touch unpredictable on twisty roads," end quote. But they do praise its straight line speed, saying it is, quote, "utterly mental and delivers immense levels of fun every day of the week," end quote. Next up we have a Charger on the list, the 2020 Daytona Hellcat Widebody, a limited edition version that commemorates the 50th anniversary of the original Charger Daytona models. Dodge created this as a tribute to that original Charger Daytona, with just 501 vehicles produced like the 1969 version. That original had been created with the goal to qualify for NASCAR racing, as the previous 1969 Dodge Charger 500 had failed in NASCAR, and NASCAR driver Richard Petty had left Plymouth for Ford. The Daytona Charger was there to get Dodge back on track. So this 2020 version is based on the Hellcat widebody, so it does get the extra 3.5 inches of wider fender flares, the wider 20x11-inch rims, a Bilstein 3-mode adaptive damping suspension, and electronic power steering. The suspension is improved with 32% stiffer front springs than the 2019 Hellcat, bigger sway bars up by 2mm in the front and 3mm in the rear, and retuned shocks. With SRT drive modes, you can select between street, sport, and track modes, or anything in between. As for other performance upgrades, The widebody also gets race cooldown, line lock, launch control, and launch assist, and you'll see those features described on screen. Moving on to the exterior, this 50th anniversary Daytona was only available in 4 paint colors: B5 blue, pitch black, triple nickel, and white knuckle. And another interesting fact is that for 2020, the only way to get B5 blue is with one of these Daytona models, as it wasn't available on any other Charger for that year. And you also get the Daytona rear quarter decal, deck lid, spoiler, and different color Hellcat badge. On the B5 blue, pitch black, and triple nickel, all those decals and spoilers and badges are going to be white. However, on the white knuckle version, the Daytona decal and spoiler are blue, while the Hellcat badge gets a bright finish. The wheels are also unique to this car, with 20 by 11 inch warp speed wheels with a satin carbon finish. And beneath the wheels are black Brembo calipers with 6 pistons in the front and 4 pistons in the rear. Moving inside, there are some upgrades there as well. The seats are your typical Daytona heated and ventilated Napa leather and Alcantara suede, finished in black with blue stitching and Daytona embroidered in the backs of the seats. They're also 12-way power adjustable. That blue accent stitching will continue through the center console armrest, door panels, dashboard, and shifter as well. The headliner is made from Dynamica suede, the instrument panel is finished in real carbon fiber, and there are light black chrome console bezels and interior accents. The flat bottom steering wheel has some of those accents as well, and gets finished in suede, while the premium velour floor mats have a blue dual stitched accent border. And this particular steering wheel and floor mats are only available for this Daytona model. The final interior detail is an awesome looking Hellcat and Daytona badge on the passenger side dashboard, and that tells you which number yours is at a 501. As for performance, the Daytona got a bump of 10 horsepower for the Charger to 717, while having the same amount of torque as before, 650 pound-foot. As for pricing on these Daytonas, they did have a US MSRP of $74,140 and a Canadian MSRP of $88,490. So that was an extra $4,495 for the US and $4,995 for Canada over what a regular 2020 Charger Hellcat widebody would cost you. But unfortunately, due to absolutely crazy demand and the very limited production, dealerships across the US were charging heavy premiums for these cars, adding what they called a market adjustment for between $25,000 to $40,000 over asking price. Last on the list, we're going back to Europe for another Challenger, this time the Geiger SRT Hellcat Cerberus. Unfortunately, I don't know the exact production numbers for these, but it can't be too many. I'd estimate less than 50, kind of similar to the XR. Geiger Cars is based in Munich, and they decided to improve on the Challenger widebody, creating this Project Cerberus model. The name seems appropriate, as Cerberus is a multi-headed dog from Greek mythology, usually referred to as the Hound of Hades, guarding the gates of the underworld to prevent the dead from leaving. So it seems like a really cool name to kind of feed off of the Hellcat vibes. And that's probably one of the first things to notice. The beautiful color scheme with the white paint, the triple racing stripe in red and black, Geiger Cars and Cerberus writing on the sides, and a huge decal of one of the heads of that dog. It just looks fantastic, and I'm kind of getting some ACR vibes as well. Other exterior additions include the wide body look, 20 by 11 inch Devil's Rim wheels with 305/35 ZR20 tires, and a wide narrow GFK hood that reminds us of the Dodge Demon. The interior remains stock, but it's fully loaded with the amazing demonic red heated and ventilated leather seats, and pretty much every feature that Dodge offers from the factory. Of course, the major selling point here is the extra power, as Geiger has this thing up to 890 horsepower and 751 pound-feet of torque, a massive gain from the stock engine's 717 horsepower and 656 pound-feet of torque. The increase was achieved by increasing the boost pressure with the help of a modified supercharger wheel to 1.1 bar or 15.95 psi, well above the stock 11.6 psi. They've also overhauled the software in the engine control unit, added an 83-degree thermostat, and integrated a reinforced 4-inch propeller shaft to ensure that the drivetrain can handle the extra power. And the stock 8-speed transmission is used as well. With the changes, Geiger estimates the car can do 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds, and at a top speed of 332 kilometers an hour, which is over 206 miles per hour. Of course, with the extra power comes an extra cost. as this car has an MSRP of 129,000 euros, which is equivalent to around $152,000 US at this time. So if you're still watching, you've reached the end of this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed looking at all these lesser known and harder to find Hellcats. Let me know which one is your favorite, and if you want to see a part 2 as well, covering a bunch of different stuff. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.